Clay said that yesterday, talking about continuity within Arkansas basketball. It caught me off guard for a sec, but the more I thought about it, the more he was right. Coaching staff, sounds like Tyler Ulis is coming over, according to Coach Cal, on his podcast, so that could be happening within the next couple days, an official announcement. Nothing official just yet. Former Kentucky outstanding All-American point guard, coached with Cal the last 2 years as a student assistant. So you've got continuity within assistant coaches, former players. He's got two guys that played at Kentucky last year, in Avicic and Adu, that are coming over and playing for him this year. And we'll see about DJ Wagner this weekend, who has a visit to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Excited to see what comes out of that. You've also got Darius Acuff, who is an outstanding player in the class of 2025 that's going to make a visit this week. Jamie Shaw of On 3 Sports, who covers recruiting in depth, is going to join us at 7 o'clock. If you missed that, it will be in the Bud Light More Than Rush podcast. But again, that word continuity, it's not something you necessarily associated with Arkansas basketball when Cal was hired and there wasn't a single person on the roster, and there's not going to be. But when you actually look at the fine print, per se, of assistant coaches and some of the players you might get, might be a word that's actually used in this situation.
Interesting. I've not thought about it in that way till this morning. So interesting that you've got perhaps continuity from last year's Kentucky team transferring to Arkansas. That I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but you might be onto something. Hey, brought to you by WT Equipment. Roll into the season with WT Equipment. Strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, even the large commercial-grade hay equipment items are on sale right now. Buy now and save $5,000, $10,000 or more, or take cash back or good 0% financing as well, up to 48 months. So your choice, 5, 10, $1,000 or more in cash back, or 0% financing for 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compact tractors. Whether you need an upgrade for the weekend or you need consistent strength and efficiency for your daily grind, they have the machines you need to get and you can right now get the deals you want. All these offers in June 30th. Get to WT Equipment. There's 9 locations. Find one near you at WTEquip.com. They are your partner in progress.
So one of the big NBA stories that happened the last couple of days is Jamal Murray throwing that heat pack on the court, and people were wondering, is this guy going to get suspended? Is he going to miss game 3? He's not been suspended. He's fined $100,000. He threw him at an official. So I would think that you would have some pushback towards this. I don't know how he wasn't suspended. Actually, I do know how. Adam Silver's trying to prolong the series, even though Minnesota's up 2-0. The first question I have to ask, are you an ice pack or heat pack guy? When you got something sore.
You ice all
See,
injuries.
I always ice too, but some people.
Ice all injuries.
You go ice then heat, right?
Ice all injuries is what I've always been taught and told.
I was told ice then heat is the way to do it. Ice.
Heat's only for certain things when you got a muscle issue. If you have an injury, you always ice an injury.
I have this corn bag at my house that one of my parents' friends gave me, and I always used to use that just in like the muscle you talk about. There's difference between, again, the injury or severity, but yeah, more of an ice pack guy. My buddy just started doing ice baths where he gets in those for 3 minutes every day because apparently it lowers your metabolism. He's as skinny as a rail, but he wants to keep his metabolism. But either way, Jamal Murray has not been suspended. He's been fined $100,000. He's dealing with a calf injury. He's 9 of 34 so far in the series. Should have been suspended. This series is basically over.
Suspended? Ooh, strong language.
He threw an ice pack. Okay, hold on.
Strong.
From the guy that always defends officials, a player threw something at an official.
First of all, you're lying. I don't always defend officials. I defend the truth. I defend the truth in the rule book, but I don't defend.
Would disagree, but I would think that you would be.
Here, let me throw something at you.
Okay, well, throw it at me. You'll get suspended. So
good. Send me home,
Jamal Murray. I would think. Are you not in favor? I mean, this to me is stupid. He should have been suspended. Should
have been assessed to some kind of a technical or some kind of.
Well, they didn't know who it was at the time.
You got video. Go look at the video. You got 113 cameras in the arena.
Yeah.
You got a monitor. Stop the game. Go look. Figure out how it got out there. Deal with it.
He should have been suspended.
He should have been ejected from the game.
Which he wasn't ejected.
He wasn't punished
or suspended.
Right.
Or anything out of this.
No, I mean, I'm not, trust me, I'm not excusing or tolerating his behavior. do you change the course of a series over something of this nature? That's what you're suggesting.
What I'm saying is if this happened to any other player that was not Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic on that roster, they would have been suspended.
Okay. I mean,
and they're doing this, again, to try and prolong the series, even though he's injured. He's not going to help them that much. And the fact that he's one of the better players in the NBA. It's a different level of punishment. It's stupid. He should have been suspended.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
I would have thought it's, again.
Why do I have to have the same opinion as you? Just because you're wrong, I don't have to go with you.
Lynn, again, I thought you would have been on board with this because it was a direct shot at an official, but I was wrong. And I apologize.
Well, maybe that's why he's on the bench, because he can't shoot. He can't even throw a heat pad right.
He's trying to, again, he's a calf injury, so he's trying
if you're using a heat pad, it's because you're trying to keep it loose. That's why you're trying to loosen a muscle with a heat pad.
Do the bike or whatever, but.
No, you use heat pad. Well, you can use the bike, but we use heat pads as officials. You know, you go to any training room, they're going to have it's a heated box full of those about any school. I mean, you sit on them, you wrap your thigh or your leg or wherever you have a little trouble getting loose. So he was just trying to remain loose while sitting on the bench is why you would use the heat pad.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
You see those used, I mean, more often than not, those are used at every level in a lot of games.
Yeah.
So.
No Arkansas Razorbacks in action last night. The Pacers lost to the Knicks. Pacers were up double digits in the second quarter. Brunson goes down and doesn't play, I think, all the second quarter. Then he comes back in the second half, and they just went berserk. 130-121 the final. They're up 2-0 on the series. Josh Hart tells Reggie Miller, all the Knicks fans bleep and hate you mid-broadcast, which was hilarious. But the Pacers had, kind of like in game one, they blew another chance last night. Now they go back to Indianapolis at Bankers Life Fieldhouse and try and figure this thing out. Brunson, again, maybe this is a nagging injury. Don't know the prognosis on that, what he's having to deal with, but that's what we saw last night. I didn't make it through. I think I made it through about halfway through the third quarter, and I passed out, so I woke up to the final this morning.
I didn't watch much last night because there wasn't the connections I was interested in watching. I watched a few minutes of it, and it didn't hold my interest and moved on. So we get to these conference finals, and they're coming up, and right now the Razorback players and watching the Fort Smith guys holds my attention right now. So I'm looking forward to watching some of tonight's games.
Another damn late start. They are the 8:30 game tonight on ESPN.
I hear your complaint, and it's not convenient for the hours we work, but you're also suggesting they start a game. Well, let's see. Right now, it's 6:30 on the West Coast. How early do you want to start it out in the Western Conference Finals?
Here's what I'm saying. The Boston game in Boston is at 6 o'clock, which is
7 there.
Yeah.
How late do you want to start that one?
I'd rather.
If you flip-flop them, how late are you going to start out east?
I just wish that the Oklahoma City game, so I could actually watch Jalen and Isaiah.
You want what's convenient for you. That's
yes.
Which we all do. I get it. So, hey, largemouth bass are coming off the spawn. Full moon in May is on the way. Right now is the time to get out on the water, probably on the lakes because the rivers are awfully high after all the rain, and take along the Yum Dinger made by Pradco. They're made in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes. They will help you catch that big bass you've been looking for. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearnNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger made by Pradco.
We'll talk more about Arkansas basketball and Cal's potential hire next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, P is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig Suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. "Woo! Pig Suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza."
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course, but we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig Suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pig Suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I know how much you love to give Ty credit for his points and opinions, so I'll beat you to it.
The 2-1 to Holtz is hit high in the air to deep left field. You got to get out of here. Peyton Holt has given them the lead with the Hawks' second home run of the inning.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So according to your head basketball coach, John Calipari, sounds like you're going to have someone else on this Arkansas basketball staff, a guy that really just scolded you when he came to Bud Walton Arena. I remember when Tyler Ulis came in as the Kentucky point guard, and I was hyped for that game. I was in attendance. I thought Arkansas had a chance. He dropped 24 points was 2 of 3 from 3, and Arkansas lost by 14. He was outstanding in college, a small player, and then really came on as a sophomore. 5'8", like a $160 or 70 coming out of high school, but just scratch clawed and was one of Cal's more underrated players that he's probably ever had in Lexington. We'll tell you what Cal said coming up and give you our thoughts in just a sec.
Yeah, let's talk some Arkansas basketball. It's brought to you by the Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley for all of your real estate needs. Go to LimberdTeam.com.
All right, so here's Cal. First off, didn't know Cal had a podcast, but apparently he does. What is it called? You Win Ways to Win pod with Craig Robinson, who's also a coach. But here's what Cal said about Tyler Ulis.
So when the kid came in, I said, if you think you're going to be here 4 years, you got to go somewhere else. He said, where do I sign? He just wanted somebody to believe in him, that don't look at my size and say, well, that means you can't. But gets drafted in the second round. He's in Phoenix. I watch him play. It's incredible. When they know that they have people out there that really believe in them and are there for them, that's part of, how do you find that guy?
Well, he found him, and now it sounds like he's going to be Arkansas's newest. Again, he was a student assistant last year at Kentucky. I don't know if he's going to translate. Now you have 6. It used to be 3. It's kind of like it was 2 in baseball. You had 2 assistants in baseball, moved to 3. Used to be 3 assistants in basketball. Now it's 6. I don't know if Tyler Ulis is going to take one of those 6 roles because you've got, I guess, Chin Coleman, Kenny Payne, and who's the other? Chuck Martin. So I don't know if he's going to take one of those 6 spots, but he's going to be on the staff in some capacity.
Yeah, and I thought something you said earlier, and this just feeds into that conversation about continuity. And, well, Arkansas has no players coming back, scholarship players, and it looks like the staff is completely blown away. But you're talking about continuity from Kentucky last year to here, some players that have played together, and then a staff that's worked with each other in some capacity. So I think it's interesting as you put this together, people that understand John Calipari, what he wants, what his next move is most likely to be in running the program, I think is starting to come into focus a little bit. When you think about continuity, you think, well, there's none from last year's team. It's a blank it's a blank canvas. It's a clean slate. Well, think about it from the Kentucky standpoint of essentially you've just picked up your tent and you've moved it to Arkansas. And I don't think any team has total continuity anymore because of the 7 or 8 players you actually play a lot in the key games. Most of those, like he was talking about, if you're a player planning on coming for 4 years, you need to go somewhere else. He's never going to have guys that are rostered where you just basically, wash, rinse, repeat. And we're starting to see this come together. And, I think that the thought of continuity is one I hadn't even given consideration to till you brought it up earlier.
I think what's interesting is Cal is looking at this and, again, is diversifying in a sense where it's transfers, it's former players, and it's the high schools. Because, again, I want the cap to be 3 or 4 freshmen when it sounds like that. I think it's also, if you look at Kentucky fans, and I was getting on some Kentucky message boards and go, they're really sad to see Tyler Ulis leave. 1, he was a great player, really good as a sophomore. 2, they seem to like him as a head coach. You look at the development of Dillingham, Shepard, DJ Wagner, who is in town this weekend, might be an Arkansas Razorback before it's all said and done. We'll get some updates from Jamie Shaw on 3 coming up. I always kind of take away, and some fan bases are just going to lambast and kick someone out on the way out the door, and he's a Kentucky kid, even though he's from Chicago. But all I saw was like glowing admiration of him. They really like this guy. So I think you're getting a pretty good, not just a guy that knows the game, but someone that has a bright future in the coaching profession. Anytime you can add someone like that, that's always good. So that's, again, the big basketball news is it sounds like Tyler Ulis is going to be a coach here in some capacity. Don't know if it's going to be on the assistant side of things or if it's going to be kind of the student assistant that he was this last year.
So where does that leave Ron Brewer? Where does that leave Ronnie? He's still on the website. It appears he's still working with Coach Cal, but he just was recently elevated under Muss to a full-time assistant's role. Where is that going to leave him? Maybe a support role? Or, I mean, it seems like anymore, yeah, you got your full-time assistants, but all of these other guys are around and coaching. I know there's rules and limitations to that, but I know under Musk, the bench was full. There was a lot of guys not wearing uniforms sitting over there. So I don't know where that leaves Brewer.
Yeah, most of those guys were GAs, and he's not going to be a GA. I think that's what a lot of people, not just in Fayetteville, want to know, but a lot of Arkansas fans would hope that there is a position open. Now, I remember
they're not just GAs, Ty. They're in support positions like director of, you've got people that run the academic side, and you got people that are in recruiting, and you got people in various roles that support the basketball program, but they're on the bench too during the games. But I know there's rules and limitations to what kind of on-court coaching they can do even in practice.
Yeah, and also the recruiting, which is only, I think, supposed to be done by those 6 assistants plus the head coach. Yeah, I hope that there's a spot. I mean, I like Ronnie. I grew up watching him. I've gotten to meet him once or twice, and he seems to love Arkansas, love this program. It's in his blood. We know that with his dad, Ron. I just don't know what Cal's thinking. I think, again, at the end of the day, as harsh as this is to say, it's reality. If Cal thinks he has a better option elsewhere with one of his guys or someone else to fill the position, and that's what he wants to do, then you need to trust him in that, as people did with Eric Musselman. They're like Scotty Thurman, for example, would be the one that I bring up. I don't know how true it was that he was reportedly offered still a job, but not necessarily the assistant role that he had when he was under Mike Anderson, I guess the final year or two of his tenure. But it didn't. He ended up being the commentator for Arkansas basketball for a little bit. So it just depends. Again, it depends on the situation, but at the end of the day, the end goal should be Cal getting his best guys in there, whoever he thinks that is.
Well, if you want him to hire someone just because they're from Arkansas, that doesn't seem like a good recipe for excellence. That's not going to get you to an elite status. You do exactly what you just said. You just go get the best you can get from anywhere, any corner of the globe, and you go do it. And it doesn't seem like the word no is being used a lot. As far as how much you got to pay these guys, how many people you need, how much money you need for NIL. The word no doesn't seem to be entering play a lot up there right now, and it makes you pretty excited about what the possibilities are. All right, that's some Arkansas basketball conversation brought to you by the Limbird Real Estate Group. Go to LimbIrdTeam.com. We're also brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina. One of my favorite places to eat is at Joe's. It's Throwback Thursday today. They'll have one of the old Kuko's platters. I mean, if you go for lunch, you're going to have enough left over for dinner. If you go for dinner, you're going to have a great meal tonight. Tomorrow's Fajita Friday. Their steak and chicken fajitas are on sale tomorrow. I love their fajitas because they charbroil the steak. They marinate the meats. You can taste the flavor. The vegetables are wonderful, and it comes with all the fixings on the side as well. And endless enchiladas on Saturday. It's Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Hart.
Voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joins us next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jake Beckett, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Arc Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Arc Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
At Gray Brothers Equipment, it's Kubota Orange Days with 0 down, 0% financing available for 84 months on Kubota's popular L2502, L3302, and L3902 tractors. Get into Gray Brothers and make your best deal on a new Kubota tractor today. Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Bodo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
There's a proper way to bet the Kentucky Derby. This is how you play. You make your pick at the start of the week. By the end of the week, you talk yourself into betting on another horse, too. Then Derby Day rolls around, and I probably need to put a little money on this horse. You got your money on so many that hopefully one, like Mystic Dan, will come in and pay off all your other stupid bets. Yeah. Not that I know anything about that.
We had a chance to talk with Sherilyn Gassaway, one of the co-owners of Mystic Dan, on Tuesday. If you missed it, you can find it on hitthatline.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search Hit That Line. I know people are wondering if Mystic Dan's going to run the Preakness. Don't think we've gotten an update just yet. She kind of...
A lot of people believe that Mystic Dan will not run.
Yeah. Well, here's what she said in regards to that.
We haven't committed because we have to see how the next few days play out. So I guess it's a possibility, but we don't know yet.
There's not a lot of Triple Crown Award winners. That'd be cool if he was one of those horses to do so. But why? So what's more of the horse expert on the show? Why are people... I don't know the
expert, but I know that there was he raced, here's how I understand. He had a race following with only a 2-week layoff, and the performance wasn't very good coming off just 2 weeks rest.
Okay.
So you don't want to put yourself in a position to not be at your best or succeed, particularly on a stage like this. So that's my understanding is the horse has not performed well with only 2 weeks rest.
I got you. Well, that was what happened earlier this week. A couple other things happened earlier this week. We'll talk with Chuck about Monte Harrison, the 28-year-old, soon to be 29 in August, has committed to Arkansas football. You've got some news on this baseball team. We're going to get a chance to hear from Dave Van Horn later on at 9:45 this morning. DJ Wagner's in town, plus the softball team knows their opponent, Missouri, later on at 1 o'clock at the SEC tournament.
And a lot of things going on, including postseason and baseball. If you're making plans for the upcoming next few weeks or maybe a summer trip, you're listening in another part of Arkansas outside of the Northwest corner, and you're looking for the place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, it's always the Inn at the Mill. It's where we choose because it's conveniently located at the Johnson exit. That's exit 69 off I-49, close to great restaurants, close to Crystal Bridges, close to the Amp. Brooks and Dunn's going to be at the Amp Friday night, boys. We go. Let's give away some tickets to that later on. You can stay at the Inn at the Mill. It's just down the road from the Amp, and of course close to campus as well. I love it because I call up, and now that they've got all my info in their system, I call Jen or whoever answers the phone. They have my reservation done in a matter of seconds. There's no phone tree. Press 1. I show up the other night. Larry's there, knows who I am, hands me the keys. No hassle. Everything's on file. You know, I'm in and out 30 seconds. Love that kind of personal touch they provide. 479-443-1800 or online at innatthemill.com.
Morning, Chuck.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Not too bad. I don't know who's having a better morning. Is it us or Coach Shauna Taylor and the women's golf team? They advanced their second ever nationals first since 2018. I saw that. I went back and listened to a little bit of what she had to say yesterday. They had a 4-shot win in Las Vegas. I don't know how many times we've let off with women's golf with you, but
this would be a first.
Pretty notable, to be honest, for their success yesterday.
More to do, and I think they've got more on their agenda. But, yeah, they had a great tournament. I mean, they had a great tournament and went out there and played well and shot below par, and they've got a lot of great players on that team, and sure seems like they gelled over the last 3 days. So congratulations to them.
Yep, so we'll get a chance to hear from her.
Sometimes you just need the putts to fall. Sometimes it's that simple. You just need the putts to go in, and we've all played where, you get a ball to the hole and it's 50-50. It could go in or it could stay out. And sometimes you just got to have the putts to fall.
Well, here's the difference, though, Tommy. They're shooting 66s.
Well,
that's the difference. And I mean, these are
I get that, but they still need putts to fall.
No, I understand. I get what you're saying, but I don't want to draw an analogy to any of our games.
No, I'm not.
Respectfully.
But we see it every time we watch golf on TV. It's the same thing. A putt that hangs on the edge, a putt, one or two strokes.
No doubt.
One or two strokes around makes a huge difference in an event like this. And I'm saying sometimes, and it's true at every level, our level, which is a very low level, and their level, which is a much higher level, you still just need putts to go in.
No doubt.
Well, they did in Las Vegas at the, I had the course written down, I'm forgetting what it was, but apparently it's windy conditions, and they persevered and got through it. So congratulations to the Arkansas women's golf team advancing to nationals. Also, congratulations to your New York Knicks last night, Chuck.
Once really having to work here. Scores. Wow.
I'm not going to lie. I did not stay up for the full game. Again, I was telling Tommy my irritations even a day after What's Your Beef Wednesday that the Thunder play at 8:30 again tonight on ESPN rather than the early game, which I guess there's some sense being Boston is that 7 o'clock Eastern time game. But yeah, Knicks won it last night. Brunson got injured, came back, and had himself quite a game. So it's Villanova kids, man. Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. It's the heart of that team right now.
Oh, they're good. That was a great game. It was a really, really good game. They've won a lot of close games. In fact, I guess all their wins have been close wins in the playoffs. And, it's good. I mean, playoff basketball is good. You watch it right now. If you don't like it, you're just looking for something not to like. Because I'm telling you, these games are competitive.
And unless you're just really hardcore Major League Baseball, what else from a sporting standpoint would take your attention on a Wednesday night last night or a Thursday night tonight? What else is out there? So if you just like competition and you like great athletes, what else are you going to watch?
Well,
Major League Baseball would be the only other thing that would even be an option.
We sometimes as fans complain, and I'm in this group, that, boy, it doesn't look like they care enough. You watch these guys right now when a championship is on the line, and I love talking to Matt Jones about this, and he talks about it, and you can hear the passion in his voice when he talks about it, how the best players in the world are now competing at the highest level. I mean, there is not a bit of don't care involved in any of this. And when you put the very best at what they do in a situation where there is a title on the line, you're going to get the very best they have. And there's a difference in the college game and the NBA game, but there's always been. I mean, I'm 61 years old. I've followed the NBA since I was like 8. There's always been a difference in the college game and the NBA game, way it's called, way it's played. But I'll tell you, these guys right now, this is fun stuff to watch.
What do you think about Jamal Murray's suspension? I think not suspension, it's fine. Only got fined $100.
Couldn't care less.
Don't care? I think he should have been
less.
suspended. But
they're done. Doesn't matter.
They're about to lose.
I mean, look, this is kind of what I'm talking about right now. When some of us view the NBA, I mean, we got great basketball going on right now, and all anybody wants to know, what about that guy that threw the towel? Or what about that guy that threw the ball into the stands? Some of that stuff gets way too much focus.
Yeah, and apparently police are investigating that.
That's ridiculous.
I thought it was stupid, too.
I mean, it's a terrible look.
The Patrick
Beverly thing. Beverly threw the ball into the stands, and they make it sound like he fired the ball into the stands. It was a terrible look. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't care for the way Patrick Beverly conducts himself a lot. But a police investigation, my goodness.
Well,
I mean,
I agree that.
Is there not other stuff out there?
But he didn't just soft toss that up there. It was a beeline shot. I mean,
I'm not excusing what he did. Unfortunately, when you talk about a police investigation, if you say I don't think the cops ought to be involved, you're saying it's okay. No, it's not okay. What he did was horrible. I think the league should take action. I think Patrick Beverly embarrassed himself more than anything else. He just made himself look like an idiot when he did that. But it doesn't warrant a police investigation.
Yeah. No, I would wholeheartedly agree. I just saw that was, again, two of the biggest stories right now are not within the games. It's like extracurricular stuff, the Murray stuff, and the Patrick Beverly stuff.
That should be your bigger stories. I mean, the big story is what's happening on the floor.
Yeah.
I think the big story, at least for me, and you guys follow it a lot more in the regular season, to me, the story is Minnesota and the way they've played. I think a lot of people really thought that Denver would take care of them in short order, and I think that's been the story so far of the playoffs.
I think it's been Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson's been the best player in the playoffs so far. When you turn on any of the NBA programs, he's the guy they're talking about. What he did last night, you guys are too young to remember Willis Reed coming out of the locker room in Game 7. I'm old enough to remember. And it's when I became a Knicks fan. And Brunson did that last night. I mean, it was really cool. And the way the people in the Garden responded, it was fun to watch.
Kind of similar to like a Kirk Gibson moment in the World Series where he comes in injured and hits the home run.
Very similar.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Chuck, in my memory, that's the Walt Clyde Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley team, right? Okay. Right. Yeah, that was, I think they beat the Lakers, if I remember that correctly. So,
before color TV.
Yeah. A little different back in the day. But your guys back in action tonight, Arkansas, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, 8:30 on ESPN, which is.
That's what people are talking about today.
Absolutely.
When it comes to the NBA's watching our guys tonight. Why not? Did you see that block, Gaffer? That was Owen Williams the other night?
Yeah, it was. It was hog-on-hog crime, as people like to say. But it was great. They had some bad. So Jalen, I think, had 11, 8, and 3. Isaiah knocked down 2 threes. And then Gafford had 16, 11, 5. 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. They got blown out by – I say they got blown out. It was a 10-point game for the majority of it, especially in the second half. And then OKC won by 22.
Luka's done.
117 to
9.
Yeah, he looks –
Luka's I don't know if he's done for his career, but he's done for this season.
Brunson has been really special in these playoffs thus far. There's no pushback on that, and he is worthy of being an MVP candidate. I will say, I did appreciate, as an Oklahoma City fan, I did appreciate what Shaquille O'Neal said. They're presenting Nikola Jokic with the MVP yesterday, and even Shaq had this to say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Joker, as the president of the Big Man Alliance, you are the president of the Big Man Alliance. I love you, the best player in the league. I want to congratulate you, but I want you to hear from me first. I thought the SGA should have been the MVP. That's no disrespect to you, but congratulations. And what do you guys have to do to get back on track versus Minnesota?
I love how he just blatantly is just like, hey, I got to be honest. And Jokic
Well, he's Shaq.
Yeah,
Shaq
he,
is
says what,
I mean,
he says what he wants.
It's
And
like Tiger talking in golf.
No one's going to go, you say what?
Yeah.
What?
But
You say what to me?
he wins the
No one's going to say that to Shaq.
Yeah.
he wins the MVP as
Call me what?
you got Wembanyama that won the Rookie of the Year. Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year. Some of the awards that have been divvied out the last week or so. But I was a little disappointed. I think it's stupid. They went like Denver's been good the last 2 or 3 years. OKC won 17 more games than they did last year. I know Daniel won the Coach of the Year, but I think it's stupid that he was not given the MVP of this team, or not just this team, League. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. I think it was dumb yesterday, but that's how the award was divvied out.
I don't follow it closely enough in the regular season to really have a strong feeling either way. I do think Jokic is the best big man I've ever seen.
Oh, he's incredible.
And I've never seen anything like him. But I didn't follow it closely enough to know who the MVP should have been. I love the playoffs. I like the playoffs. But I'm not, I don't watch an NBA game on Friday night. I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, I've drifted from that. That used to be me, but it's changed up a little bit. And on the subject of Gilgeous-Alexander, who was okay at Kentucky, it sounds like, Chuck, that Cal's hiring one of his former outstanding point guards. Tyler Ulis had a short NBA career, was kind of derailed by injuries in a car wreck. But Cal said on his podcast earlier this week that Ulis is coming to Arkansas. This was a kid that was on that 2015 team that only lost one game all season as kind of a role bench player, that team to Wisconsin. And then the second season, he was a first team All-American, averaged like 18 points, was an absolute stud. It sounds like he's going to be here in Fayetteville as an assistant this year.
Well, he's going to have some role on the staff. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it certainly sounds like he's going to have some role. And, I remember Tyler Ulis as a player. He was a very good player. And apparently he's a pretty sharp guy. I've not followed his career. I'm going to be honest. The last time I saw him play at Kentucky is the last time I paid attention. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. But apparently he's a pretty sharp guy. Did I read, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, Ulis hosts this podcast with Craig Robinson? Is that right?
So it's Cal and Robinson.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Cal and Robinson. All
Correct.
Right. But, I would expect, the staff, and I saw an article in the Democrat Gazette this morning about, the staff directory. If that's, if you ever want to find out who's really getting paid, look at the staff directory. And there's some guys on there, lots of guys, or numerous guys, I should say, that are coming over. And that's just kind of how it works now.
Yeah. Brad, so you got Cal's son Brad on there. I think they've got their video game coordinator, and there's one or two other assistants.
They have a video game coordinator?
Well, not video game
video coordinator.
Video coordinator.
Wait a minute. My son may have a future in college sports. Wait a minute.
And
tell me more.
Tommy asked a fair question because I, like you, got on the website yesterday when I saw this news. And, I mean, Ronnie's name is still on there. Now, maybe this is me just more hoping this happens. I hope Ronnie is attained in some form or fashion, but I mean, his name's still on the list.
Well, you have to understand how contracts work in fiscal years in the state job calendar. I don't know if they're going to be on the staff or not. I have no earthly idea, but they're still under contract and they're still getting paid, and that's the reason their names are still there.
And that ends June 30th, I believe, is the
June
end.
30th would be the end of the fiscal year. Yes. That's that. And look, they may stay. I hope all of them do. I mean, I really do. But I'm not naive. I know how this works. And so, but that's the reason their names are still there, because they're still getting paid.
Yeah. You mentioned that you hadn't really followed Tyler Ulis' track record. I watched him a little bit when he was on the Phoenix Suns. That's about it. He's been a student assistant for Kentucky the last 2 years. He's done like on-court stuff, workouts, film sessions, stuff like that. but he hasn't, as you said, like he wasn't a full-time assistant. I don't know if he's going to be that, but he is going to be here, and I think it's a good addition based on what Kentucky fans are saying.
And Chuck, you can shed more light. What is it? 6 full-time assistants, right? That you can have in basketball.
Lord, I don't know. I mean, you got more staff than
right.
players.
But then, and that's the point I want to drive at is, okay, you may have a label of a assistant coach, or you may have a label of something different. But as we've seen, just looking at Muss's bench, there are a bunch of people over there, and you're accurate in saying more staff than players. It's become that way. And they're not all student managers and GAs. They're people in recruiting roles, video roles, as you pointed out, a variety of support positions. I know there's a limit as to what they can do as far as coaching during the week and during practice, but they're constantly around, and they clearly have input, or at least that's what we've seen under Eric Musselman here.
Well, everyone on the staff, their job is to please the head coach and help the team win.
Yep.
If your job is video coordinator, not video game coordinator, but video coordinator.
Clarify.
I mean, that may be your job title, and you may look at video. But, you know, your stuff on a daily basis, that's you know, how good you splice up that video is not going to determine necessarily whether or not you keep your job. I don't mean that to disrespect the position. I'm just saying that it is all hands on deck. And in a sense, everyone's a coach. And, you know, but everyone's got a lot of different assignments too.
Yeah. And you've been to obviously more practices than any of us talking this morning, but the ones we've been invited to, and I know it's under Muss versus, you know, what we don't know with Cal, but there are people everywhere. I mean, everywhere during these practices. And when there's a timeout or a water break, it seems like there is someone that has a water bottle for someone. I mean, that's your assignment, you know, and there is somebody with a towel. There are people everywhere in support of the team. So, I mean, there will not be any shortage of hands to help John Calipari build a winning program. That's for sure.
It's that way everywhere now. It's and you know, I can just tell you as a layman, it's astonishing to me how many people are on coaching staff. I'm not saying it's bad. It's individualized attention almost, what you strive for in the classroom. But there are a lot of them.
I mean, we've talked about the athletics department getting cut with player revenue sharing. I mean, coaching staffs are within athletics departments. I mean, it's going to.
You're paying one assistant, Kenny Payne, more than you paid the entire staff last year.
Well, I think you have to understand too that on a staff you've got maybe half a dozen guys that are really making their living doing that. Mm-hmm. The rest of your people would do it for free. They're young, they're energetic, they're getting started. You don't have to pay them a lot. Just to be real blunt about it, it's the veterans you got to pay. These young guys do it for free.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
As someone that was friends with several GAs and assistants, and they shared their salaries and they shared what they had to do with me. It's like, yeah, that's you must really love this.
Well, anyone we're raising a generation of kids that love sports that want to go into coaching to make money. That isn't why you go into it. Or if it is, then you need to really do something else.
Yeah. So I mean it's where you get your start. Where you cut your teeth, as they say, and pay your dues.
And they've all done it. Every Hall of Fame coach started out working for free. Never forget that.
How did Matt Zimmerman get started? I know he's working in different roles now, but he was Mike Anderson's assistant for a long time. He started out in much that, you know, in a support role and worked his way up. So I mean, it's no different than people that start in our business as a part-time board operator. You know, doing anything they can to help out and work their way into a role. I mean,
guys,
it's true in any business.
Nick Saban was a slappy once.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban was a manager once. Nick Saban did all those things, and every single one of them did. Every Hall of Fame coach out there started as an unpaid assistant. Every single one of them. And now, if you were to try to get someone to do that now, it's more difficult. But most of your staffs, your coaching staffs, we're delving off into a different issue here, but most of your coaching staffs are dominated by guys who are getting into the business, who are cutting their teeth. And you need people like that. You need the hungry ones.
Yeah. Circling back to the NBA, we're talking about those games tonight. Go to the Bet Saracen app looking here right now. Boston guys 13.5-point favorites in the early game tonight. Over under 212.5. Boston on the money line is minus 1,100. The game we're most interested in, the Thunder, laying 5.5 as the favorite tonight. They are minus 200. The over under almost 220, 219.5. So if you're looking for action on tonight's game, Bet Saracen app is the place to go.
I'm glad you brought that up. I hope that one of those guys at Bet Saracen is listening, because one of the national apps has Cal specials, like Cal only, Calipari specials. And they have a bet right now, the Kentucky Wildcats to win in Rupp, minus 162, for them to lose in Rupp to Arkansas is plus 125. They also have the opposite in Bud Walton Arena. And I don't know if that means that game's going to be scheduled or not, but it's plus 170 for Mark Pope and the Wildcats to win in Rupp, and it's minus 228 for them to lose in Rupp
Well, now
Arena.
let me say this. If somebody is placing a bet on the Arkansas-Kentucky basketball game now, not knowing what either roster is going to look like in totality, might be the person they're talking about when at the end of those commercials they say, gambling problem? It might be that guy. You might be the one they're talking to.
It might be. So it seems a bit early to be placing that wager, but never miss an opportunity in business, right? Never miss an opportunity.
Never say never, but yeah, that is there's plenty of NBA action that you can get into, and hopefully Arkansas. Do they have player props for Isaiah and Jalen on there?
Let me look.
I don't know if you saw that, but
I didn't pull that part up.
That is I don't know if they're going to outdo what they did earlier this week, but it would be cool to see them all have good games. And even like I found myself, I don't know if you guys aren't Thunder fans, but Big C, I know.
No. I'm a Thunder fan. I'm a Knicks fan first. Don't make it an either or.
Well, what I didn't mean to. It's not a criticism. What I was saying was that Daniel Gafford, like I found myself when he made a good play, even as a Thunder fan, I was clapping and cheering, then be like, all right, I'll give you credit. I'll be happy for you. I'm not going to be happy for anywhere else, but I'll be happy when he makes a play.
You know, weather's starting to warm up. It's nearly 90 degrees yesterday, guys. When's your first trip to the lake? I'm sure you've already got it planned. Is there a baby shower at the lake you're going to? Anyway.
White Claws galore.
Yeah, if you're thinking about a lake trip soon and you'd like a place at the lake, call our friend Brett Good and his wife Monica. They've been in the real estate business a long time. If there's anything they know, it's about moving. They have been married 10 years and moved 5 times. When he was in Green Bay with the Packers for a decade, he moved 7 times as a player. So they know moving. They know the process. And if you're looking to find a place on the lake, that's one of the many specialties they have is Beaver Lake and properties there. They have several listings right now. Or if you have a place on the lake and you think now's the time to get the maximum return on that investment, they can help you with that. Call Brett 479-651-2292. They take care of Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. 651-2292 for the good team with Collier and Associates in Northwest Arkansas.
Jamie Shaw, on through recruiting, joins us next.
Your home for the most money with the least amount of drama. You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
With everyday low prices, locally owned Yeager's Hardware is your Mother's Day shopping destination. Celebrate Mom this weekend with these red-hot Mother's Day specials this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All trees, shrubs, and tropical plants are 25% off. Hanging flower baskets are only $7.99, and hanging basket ferns are only $11.99. Mom will love a new 4-foot porch swing, now only $59. Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings this Mother's Day weekend. Find us online at YeagersHardware.com.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the upper 70s to lower 80s. We should remain clear to partly cloudy tonight and overnight low right around 55. As we head into Friday, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures Friday, mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
So much about continuity and the culture. These guys already know what he's like, and when he frowns, if he's mad or if he's happy or if he's going to get over it quick. You know, they can coach the other guys. I mean, that's the part about this that is unique, that there is going to be some continuity despite there being an empty roster.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bush Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yeah, I thought Clay made some interesting points yesterday about that word, continuity. And when you saw the roster was empty for Arkansas basketball, you're thinking, there's going to be none of that. But now you hear about some of the assistants that are joining John Calipari, both official and unofficial, like Tyler Ulis, who sounds like he's going to be in some capacity here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, plus Adu Thiero, Zvonimir Visic, and maybe DJ Wagner, who has a visit this weekend. We'll see how that goes, but maybe more continuity than we initially realized within this basketball team in year number 1. We're going to talk with Jamie Shaw coming up, On3 Sports recruiting expert. He's got some thoughts on not just the team who's currently committed, some guys that may commit, and in the coming years, the relationship that Cal has with certain high school players.
Hey, are you looking to spruce up your existing home or start from ground up on a new home? Either way, check out Farm Credit of Western Arkansas before you get started and find out why for more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families just like yours make their dream home come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or stop by any of their 25 locations today.
Jamie, well, I want to start with DJ Wagner this weekend, who's got a visit in Fayetteville. Appreciate you joining us. I think there's pretty strong indications that he's going to wind up as an Arkansas Razorback. What are your thoughts on Arkansas getting their 8th scholarship player to sign and commit after this weekend?
Absolutely. First off, want to thank you for having me on. Wagner, goes back with Calipari, goes back with Kenny Payne, family and all that type of stuff. It's I don't want to say it's foregone, but once he entered the transfer portal, there was a lot of thought that Arkansas would ultimately be the landing spot. He was an all-SEC freshman last year under Calipari, averaged almost 10 points, 3.5 assists, close to. There's just a lot of direction, a lot of signs pointing toward Arkansas with Wagner.
And Jamie, Tyler Ulis, again, the name I just mentioned, reportedly sounds like he's going to be on Arkansas staff, was an outstanding point guard. Do you think he's going to bring to this Arkansas basketball team? And he was with DJ last season, so maybe that helps in this recruiting process as well.
Well, Ulis, he's young, he's an energetic coach, and he's not that far away from his playing career. Obviously a draft pick, some time with the Bulls. Kids know who Tyler Ulis is. He's able to get in there. He was an overachiever as a player. He's able to get out there on the floor, be with the kids, play with the players, and relate to them. He's kind of able to bridge that gap between the coaching staff and the players, and be there and form relationships and relate to the things that they're going through throughout the process.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about staff sizes and how it seems like the benches in college basketball have bloated. There is a director and a support position for seemingly everything. What will the bench look like, and what do the support roles look like in a John Calipari, administration, if you will?
Well, you obviously have the coaches on the court that go out recruiting. You have player development. You have video and analysts. You also have NIL-type general managers, the people that overlook the entirety of the process from the recruiting base toward the NIL, forge relationships with the collectives, and go out to the community and do all that. So there's a role for everything. So not necessarily just falls under one person's lap, but you have the people that break down the film. You have the people that implement the game plan. You have the on-court staff. You have the recruiters. You have the people who oversee it all as the general manager, the collective, as well as the recruiting process. So it's almost a corporation style, with one person being the head of the snake, and then you have each person with their own linear type of jobs.
Kind of their vertical, yeah. So when you look at kind of what has unfolded so far to this point at Arkansas, you see the roster, the way it's setting up. What do you think as you kind of look at this from afar? What do you think the next move is here, other than maybe Wagner announcing he's coming to Arkansas or the next player? What are you expecting to see out of John Calipari next as he brings it more into focus with how he'll move forward at Arkansas?
Well, I think one thing it's obvious that they're looking for possibly is some shooting. So a couple of the names that they're looking at: Wooga Poplar, Chaz Lanier, some wing guys who can knock down some shots on the perimeter. You have good rim protection. Jonas Adu, Big Z coming in. So you got some bigs. You got some defensive presence with Adu Thoreau, who's familiar. You have a paint touch guard possibly with DJ Wagner coming in. So it's kind of filling out the fulfill of the roster. Experienced guys that have toughness. You have the three-man rookie freshman class, Boogie, Billy Richmond, Carter Knox. So there's, for the foreseeable future, I think rounding out what they have currently with a little bit of shooting, maybe looking at a guy like a Kason Pryor as well with versatility in the front court to kind of continue to piece together a roster that's going to compete in the SEC next year.
We're talking with Jamie Shaw, covers recruiting for On 3 Sports, also the NBA draft and the transfer portal. You referred to some of those freshmen. According to y'all's business, you guys have Arkansas as the second best class in the country, Jamie. Of those three freshmen, who do you think's most likely to factor in with playing time this upcoming season?
Well, as you look at how the roster is developing, it looks like Boogie Fland might have an inside track. He's a guard who's comfortable playing on the ball or off the ball. Listed about 6'3", he can really shoot it. But he's also got some connecting capabilities, ability to pass the ball, put the ball in the right spot. He's got an it factor about him and all that. So I would say with how the roster looks currently, Boogie Fland's got a chance if he's able to come in, get up to the speed of the game, make some shots like he has in the past. He's the number one point guard in the class for us right now currently. But I think there's the possibility for playing time should he come in and things go as planned.
You mentioned Jonas Adu. You also got John L. Davis from FAU. Of those two guys, both highly coveted transfers, one's played in the SEC, one's a little smaller ball. Who do you think is going to have a more productive and more important role for the team this year?
I mean, I think that's a great 1-2 punch. Any day you look at the guys, the teams, the construct of the teams that made it far in the tournament, they had a big, look at Purdue with Zach Edey, you look at UConn with Donovan Clingan, and they also had guards who can make things happen. John L. Davis, the AAC Player of the Year last year, he's able to run an offense through him. He's able to start plays and finish plays, whether it be passing, shooting, scoring. And then you have the anchor on the block with Adu, who's third in the block shots last year, able to protect the rim, which allows John Calipari's system, the pressure defense, to kind of run. But he also showed that he can score on the block, 11.2 points on over 50% from the field. He's also got a little bit of touch out there as well that he wasn't able to show at Kentucky, or Tennessee, sorry. That's a great 1-2 start. I think they're both equally as important for what they want to be able to do playing inside out.
We mentioned DJ Wagner coming into town this week, and also Darius Acuff, who's a top 5 player this upcoming class. What can you tell us about his interest in Cal that seems to be really high for maybe a building block next year?
Well, you look at it, he visited Cal at Kentucky. He's one of the first high school visitors. He's coming in at Arkansas. There's very real interest there. He's also this is his 4th official visit. Kentucky was one of them with Cal. He's also gone to Michigan with the old staff, and then Kansas a few weeks ago also. He speaks very highly of Calipari. He speaks very highly of the guards Calipari has produced, and he speaks very highly of the player development and what Calipari's done with players, high-caliber players like him in the past. I think Arkansas is very real in there, and this could be a big visit this weekend.
Jamie, last thing before we let you go, we mentioned a couple guys already that have come over, Adu Thiero. You've also got Big Z, DJ Wagner possibly after this weekend. What about Ugana Onyenso? Is that a guy that would still consider following Cal? It sounded like he was initially just interested in the NBA. Now he's in the portal. Is there aspirations for him to land in Fayetteville?
Never say never when it comes to John Calipari and recruiting. I think he's got his focus right now definitely on the NBA draft. He just got invited to the G League portion of it, and we'll see how it goes. That goes this weekend. We'll see how that goes from there. The schools that I'm actually hearing a lot for him right now, Alabama, Oklahoma, Louisville, are are kind of three of them. I know that Alabama was kind of in the lead. They just took Big Cliff from Rutgers. Kinds of things opened up a little bit. So never say never when it comes to Calipari, but those are the three schools that I'm hearing the most for Onyenso right now.
Jamie, we'll leave it there. Again, Jamie Shaw, On3 recruiting analyst, kind enough to join us this morning. Jamie, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks with John Calipari and this basketball team.
Guys, thank you so much.
All right, when we're talking Arkansas basketball, where it's brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to LimberdTeam.com.
Thought it was interesting to him discussing Boogie Flint because we've talked about the transfers. We talked about the former Kentucky guys with Knox, with Richmond, and Fland. Sounds like, according to Jamie, Chuck, that Fland maybe has the best chance to play this upcoming season.
Well, we'll see how all that plays out. They're obviously not bringing Boogie Fland in to sit. I mean, they're not bringing him in to develop and watch and bring him along slowly. So, yeah, I would think he'd have an opportunity to play early. Now, when you start speculating about, who's going to play where and where the points are going to come from, that's when you're kind of getting out there on a limb and, you know just enough to be wrong. But I'm sure that Boogie Fland will have plenty of opportunities to show what he's got because, again, they're not bringing him in here to watch.
We were talking before we went to break about maybe Arkansas fans getting out too much. You were listing out some odds. Just got a text on the McLarty Daniel hotline from a fan that bet on Arkansas. Plus 2,500 to win the national championship. Bet $100, Chuck.
Okay.
Jerry.
Get in early.
He's
well, I can see something like that, betting on a general deal. I saw where some guy had a $100 parlay on the Rangers winning it all.
Yep, Chiefs repeating, which they did.
Whoever won the Super Bowl, the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And now if Oklahoma City wins the NBA title, his $100 parlay will be worth $1.7 million.
Yep.
So that guy's pulling for the Thunder.
He'll be
be fair to say.
He'll be trying to buy his ticket up for half price or something.
Yeah, so he did it.
If he can find it. If he can find the ticket.
Yeah.
He did this back in May last year.
Okay.
And you mentioned the Rangers who won. He liked those odds. He thought they had a good chance. The Chiefs repeating. I think a lot of people picked the Chiefs to repeat. And the Thunder was a big pick. He was at game one of against the Pelicans of the
New Orleans,
the quarterfinals in Loud City. Don't know if he's going to attend a game. He's a Phoenix guy, he's a real estate guy. So we'll see if that takes. But again, like you said, $100 could potentially turn into $1.7 million. The biggest bet he's ever won is $7,000. So he could go from $7,000 to $1.7 million.
It's like having a lottery ticket with all the numbers except the Powerball, and you're just waiting for the Powerball to drop.
Still, the operative word in all that is could.
Good, yeah.
Could is still the operative word.
I want to say, Chuck, I believe I saw this correctly. I think his ticket alone right now is worth over $100,000. Like if he sold it, I think I read this correctly. If he sold it today,
would you sell it?
Ticket?
Would you sell it? If someone offered you $100,000 for that ticket, that should be your question of the day, Ty. Would you sell it? You got your question after the break. Would you sell it?
Well,
there you go.
We'll get into that.
What a hook.
That is a good hook. We'll tell you what our answers are next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimberdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimberdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Hogs! Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So I had to go back and double check this story. We were talking about it before we went to break. Wayne Sheldon is a real estate mogul in Phoenix, Arizona. And he bet
a Mongol?
Mogul. What did I say? Mongol? Mogul. Did I say Mongol?
Mongrel.
Mogul.
Okay, mogul. Real estate mogul. All right.
I said Mongol. Mogul.
He's a real estate guy in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay, go
real
ahead.
estate guy. I meant mogul, but said it the wrong way.
Always go with guy.
Yeah. So he bet $100 on back in May 1st of 2023 last year on the Rangers to win the World Series, which they did. The Chiefs to repeat as the Super Bowl champions, which they did. And now his bet, his parlay, is contingent upon the Oklahoma City Thunder winning their first ever NBA Finals. After game 1, his ticket, it's not over 100,000, guys. It is worth $228,613, over $228,000.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
So,
door number 1.
what's his face? Howie Mandel is at Deal or No Deal. I wish I had that music.
Monty Hall.
Monty Hall.
Too young to remember Monty Hall.
Yeah.
That's the other guy. So, again, he's won $7,000 before. That's the biggest bet he's ever won. But he has a chance to win either $1.7 million if this parlay hits, or he can cash his check and run for over $228,000.
Because right now, obviously, the Thunder haven't even won the semifinal yet.
Correct.
So
what would you do, Ty? Cut to the chase. What would you do?
I'm a Thunder fan, so I'm rolling with it. They're going to win their first ever this year. Anthony Edwards is going to get obliterated in Loud City. I would roll with it.
$228,000.
It's $1.7 million.
Could.
You don't say.
Yeah, but they got to win.
No one says 100,000 here. I'm 100,000 here. You say
they got to win 10 more games to get there.
That's right.
11.
10 more games.
10 or 11.
They have the depth, and that's the
they're
best.
up 1-0, right?
That's the best.
It's 11
yes.
games.
And they're about to be 2-0 after that. That's the
they
best.
They got to win 11 games
the
to
best
do that.
I know what your cohort there would do. He's the tightest guy I know. He'd have that ticket up for sale by noon.
I know some of the people you know. I'm not the tightest guy you know. I'm in the conversation, but I'm not the tightest.
Well, that might be a little bit of an embellishment.
But
my point is I think he'd sell.
I would not sell for $228.
Would you not?
Not right now. Now, I don't think I would ride this thing all the way out to the 1.7 and hope they win the championship.
Right.
But I think if you win another
finals.
Well, if you get there, I think they're probably going to come up to 354. I think
Who's
right now
beat him?
Who's slam Acacia, no deal. No deal.
Who's going to beat him?
The Timberwolves will be Dallas. Pop your mic on, Big C, if you're going to say that. You think Dallas is going to come back and win this series?
Dallas is not going to win this series.
Well, Luka just has to play like he can. 19 points.
Luka's done.
No.
He's done.
He's not going to go out like
Oklahoma City's going to win the series.
It's not going down
The
like
question's
that.
going to be, can they get to the finals and beat either Boston or New York? Probably Boston. Can they beat Boston in the finals? Can they go to Boston and win?
This is a perfect heart over head matter because if Oklahoma City wasn't involved, I'd take the 218,000 or 228,000 like that. But when your favorite NBA team is involved, so for example, you're asking, hey, Western Conference Finals, how much do you think it's worth if they get to the Western Conference Finals?
For something.
No, 330,000.
I'm not way off.
It's
if they get to the finals.
If they,
you're going to have to ride this out to win more than it might go up another 100,000.
The Western Conference is the 330. If they get to the finals, it's 720,000.
If they get there.
So
if they win the Western Conference and get to the finals, the ticket's then worth 722,000.
Yeah, 720,000.
I'd hold out till then.
Yeah. I wouldn't sell now.
I will say is
but it also depends where you're at in life.
Cocky as I am about Anthony Edwards, I mean, this kid's playing. You mentioned Jalen Brunson earlier, Chuck, who's had like 3 40-plus playoff performances. He's been 5. He's been unbelievable. I mean, Anthony Edwards has been just as good. He's been outstanding. So that would scare me if I'm a Thunder fan and Wayne Sheldon. But I'm still not taking the deal. I'm putting my heart over my head in this case.
You're going all the way.
All the way.
Regardless of what happens.
If it's not the Thunder, even if it was like the Boston Celtics or a team that I thought had better chances, I would take the money and run. But because my heart is invested in this team.
No, it's because you're a young
players,
man with a safety net. That's what
true.
It's all about, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're a young man with a safety net.
But
you can go all the way.
228,000 is a lot of money for a young man that's in radio. That doesn't.
That's a lot of money for anybody.
It is a situation, but I couldn't do it. I could not do it because if
I would hold out for a little while.
I would too.
I would hold out.
Would you hold out till 330?
If they offered me 700,000, if you got to the Western Conference final or to the final,
get into the 700s, I'm out.
I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even after taxes, that's a pretty good.
So
sum
at least
of money.
hold it. We're not taking the money now. We're just waiting just a little bit.
We're hedging our bets. Is what we're doing.
And it's not about the money. It's about if you believe the Thunder. It is. But I'm evaluating this based on I think the Thunder are going to win more games where they're at now. I don't know that they're going to win the whole thing, but I think as they win more games, that ticket becomes more valuable.
Listen,
I agree with that part.
best depth in the NBA, guy that should have won the MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You got 2 Arkansas Razorbacks. You got to be invested in this basketball team one way or another.
I'll give you this. You're going all the way. You're declaring right now, regardless of what happens, I'm going all the way.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
you
no
don't have
way you would
anything
do that
bet.
if it's
I mean,
him.
it's not your money. We're
It's-
just playing like with Monopoly money.
Yeah, it's Wayne, and it's Wayne Sheldon's money. Andy Mountham says sell.
Real estate Mongol.
Yeah, mogul. Come on, Chuck. Mogul, not Mongol. Joe and Jasper, I'm selling it. JT in Hot Springs wants to know if there's a sports almanac for the future that you can tell
Biff's got
who's going to be that. Yeah, Biff's still got it stocked away in that safe. But that is your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
Tom, you probably got the tail end of this, but I'll give you the quick version. There's a guy that has bet on a parlay of the Chiefs, the Rangers, and the Thunder to win it all. He's got a chance to win $1.7 million. Chiefs repeated, Rangers won it all. If the Thunder win, he gets that $1.7 million. But he can cash out right now for $220,000. If the Thunder make the Western Conference Finals, he can cash out for $300 and something thousand. If they make it to the finals, he can cash out for $720,000. Would you take the money? Would you wait? Or would you stick it out through the whole thing?
Oh my gosh! So if the Thunder wins the series they're in right now,
It
and
jumps up to $320,000.
okay. Well, I guess that means he can't do the 2-something because they've already started the next series. I don't know, but I think I would cash out if they win the next series and make it to the finals. Yeah. Because that's a huge payday. And a franchise that doesn't have the background to go all the way and, be in the cauldron of an NBA Finals. I don't know if I mean, as much as I love the Thunder because of their Razorback connections, I just don't know if I would trust that, and I would cash out if they make the Western Conference Finals.
If he had put the Celtics or maybe the T-Wolves on there instead of the Thunder, they might be offering him significantly more at this point.
It's a lot of
That's
money.
right.
That's
right. It's like Deal or No Deal, man. They keep upping the deal. Not that I like that show.
Chuck goes back to Monte Hall and let's make a deal. Chuck doesn't
Tom
want.
remembers Monty Hall. Don't act like Tom's a young guy. Tom knows who I'm talking
He's just
about.
a lot younger than you, so.
Of course, I definitely remember Let's Make a Deal for sure. Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. That reference caught me completely off guard. I had no
I'm
idea.
aware that it did.
I had no idea who that was.
We're not shocked. We're not shocked by it either.
That.
Door number 3. Do you want what's behind door number 3?
Yeah. Well, Tom, are we going to be caught off guard at 9:45 when Dave Van Horn talks with the media? Is he going to share any series-altering news this weekend? I know. I think I asked you on Tuesday about the starting pitching. Have you changed your mind in 2 days? Is he still rolling with the same 3, or do we see Gage Wood get mentioned today as a starting pitcher this weekend?
Right. Well, I don't think he's going to shock because either way, I think it's close to 50-50. And I think I said on Tuesday I thought it was 50-50. In the last couple of days, I think I've started hedging my bets more toward I think they're going to give Wood a shot. But I don't know that for sure. And, he certainly sounded the warning to Molina before the Sunday start, and he just didn't command enough. And there's just too many extra base runners, walks and hit by pitches. And he's wriggled out of some danger in the course of the season. He's certainly a veteran. But we're getting to that time of year where I think they feel like they would like to know what to expect out of their third starter. And to test that, you've got to give Wood a shot. And, if it's not this weekend, maybe in Hoover, they would try that as well because, the stakes are up starting right now.
Well, on that note, is he better off, like in the next 3 weekends, if you're trying to test what this kid is made of for postseason? I know Hoover technically is postseason, but are you better off, like, giving him a run in Baum Walker, or do you test him out at Bluebell or down at Hoover? Like, how's the best scenario play out for his situation moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm sure they've thought through all the dynamics, all the potentials for this. I think I would prefer to have Molina pitching in Texas, transferred from Texas and so on, and I would prefer to have him in the rotation next week. And if I was going to give Wood a shot, it would be this coming Sunday.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Speaking of the three starters, who starts in the outfield? It seems like Holt has nailed down one of those spots. We've seen him in about every corner out there, or in center field as well, obviously. But Diggs, his bat has warmed up a bit. What do you expect to see in the lineup card when it's released for the outfield this weekend?
Well, certainly Diggs, because Dave Van Horn made the reference either Saturday or Sunday in Lexington. Diggs is our guy, so he's permanent right field, I would think. And I do believe Holt is nailed down either left or center. And so then it would come down to splits, matchups. For instance, two of the Kentucky pitchers had reverse splits. The lefties hit pretty well against the lefty they threw, and I can't give you names and what have you, and then righties had good percentages against one of the right-handers, I think the guy who started on Sunday. So it just depends. I mean, Lovich, I don't know if you want him out in the field right now just because he's had 2 or 3 plays that a lot of fielders would have made, and he didn't make them. And so Edmondson, I think you got the speed factor. You got he's a hit by pitch and a walk drawing guy. And then Wilmsmeyer, you're going to get good defense in center, but he's just not hitting right now. I mean, that 5 RBI game he had against James Madison on either the Saturday or the Sunday, I mean, he's just barely tripled that RBI count since that day.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us here. Let's shift gears to basketball. DJ Wagner in for a visit. Does he become a Razorback?
Man, I wish I could tell you I had better insight, but it probably would be a real nice pickup for the Razorbacks. And I would say the odds are decent that they land Wagner.
All right.
Tyler Ulis is reportedly going to be on John Calipari's staff, Tom. I don't know if you've seen his comments in the latest podcast. I think one of your colleagues wrote about it in Whole Hog Sports. This is a guy that's not too far removed from his playing days, not just in college in Lexington, but also in the NBA. What do you think about this? I'm not going to say foregone conclusion to his staff, but when Cal said it, sounds like it's a foregone conclusion to his staff.
Yeah, it really does. And, yeah, I read some info on this last night. And first of all, it seems like Ulis has a unbelievably fantastic rapport with modern players. I was reading from the Kentucky side what it would be like to missing him, and he just gets along with the players. He's a great conduit from the coaching staff to the players. And I just remember I think he was a 2-year guy. His sophomore year was phenomenal. Just his ball security, his court vision, and all. I mean, and he could score when needed, but boy, he was a great creator for Kentucky, and apparently just an all-around vivacious kind of dude, and certainly a big positive for the staff if he were to come on board.
Came in and dropped 25 at Budwalton Arena. Hogs lost by 14. Trust I remember that game very well. That was not a fun day. All right, Tom, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate your time this morning. We'll see what shakes out in Baum-Walker Stadium with the pitching in the outfield this weekend. And maybe we'll have some news on DJ Wagner by the end of it as well.
Awesome, man. Let's all dry out and have a fantastic weekend. See ya.
All right, Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel highlight. Chuck, people talk about the pitching and what the rotation will look like. I'm equally as interested, maybe more interested in the outfield setup.
Well, I am too. I want to say one thing about the pitching, though. It seems like for the last week to 10 days, media, fans, people that follow the program are pulling for a change, rooting for a change in the starting rotation. If Arkansas is going to win the national championship, make no mistake about this, Mason Molina has got to be a starting pitcher. Here's the danger when you do something like this, and I don't know what Dave's going to do. I have no idea, no insight whatsoever. The thing that I would wonder about, might even worry about, would be if you make a change, what happens with the kid you move out of the starting rotation? Is he done for the year? Do you lose him? Do you lose him mentally? Is he the same guy he was before? Does it crush him? I don't know the answers to those questions. I think these are things coaches have to balance when they do something like this. Fans tend to be, what have you done for me lately? Performance-based. What'd you do today? Not what'd you do yesterday, what'd you do today? And I think as a coach, you've got to evaluate a lot of different things. If you want to start Gage Wood and you want to do it in the regular season, well, go do it. If there's a problem with Molina and he's hurt and he can't perform, we'll do it. But if not, start him down there at Hoover. Get him a start down there. The bottom line is if you're going to be as good as you have to be to win this whole thing, he's got to be good for you. And there's a danger when you start talking about change that you lose a kid. And, again, I have no insight on the dynamics of the team. Dave knows better than anybody, and he'll respond accordingly. But it troubles me sometimes when I hear people almost rooting for a change, because that's not what's best for the team.
Well,
it's not what's best for the team.
Here's what I'll say. That rooting you're talking about was in response to the own head coach talking about it.
I
it was in
understand all
response
that.
for Gage Wood saying he might be taking someone's job. And
that's right.
It didn't.
I understand that.
Fans
but
didn't
I think
pull that out.
sometimes when a coach says that, media people pick up on it and they start rooting without really realizing it, because it's something different. It's a story. It's something different.
Yeah, and I would agree, because I said that I thought Molina was maybe the biggest pickup that Arkansas had in the transfer portal this year, because you basically just plucked away an all Big 12 kid to be a starting pitcher. There's not many college coaches out there that can say, hey, look at our starting rotation. You've said it before. Brady Tiger would be a Friday night guy a lot of places. Mason Molina would probably be a Friday night guy. I think he was at Tech last year in a lot of places. I think what I would say is, if you trust Dave Van Horn to make this decision and a guy is struggling, whether it's Molina or Tiger, then you move forward with it. And if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. And I'm like you, I don't know what he's going to do this weekend. He may keep it as is. He may stay par for the course, whether it's Molina on Saturday night or on Sunday. And Wood might play, or he might pitch, but he might not get a starting rotation. I think fans just want to win. And if they feel like Gage Wood gives them the best chance to win, they're going to root for Gage Wood to be in there.
And he may give you a chance to win 2 games rather than 1. That's the thing, with these relievers. He talked about that with McIntyre earlier in the year. Chuck, sometimes the relievers in that spot because they can help you more than one place in a weekend.
And I know we're up against it here. If I was thinking about a role for Gage Wood, the guy that has got to really pitch well is McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to pitch well.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure for a kid, but he's got to pitch well.
Because the Wood
He's been okay lately. Okay. Not bad, but not what he was. Does someone like Wood assume that role in a key game down the stretch? I think when we start talking about if a guy's pitching well, the first thing we say is, let's throw him into the rotation. Bullpens are what win championships for you. All right, before we go to a break, Weicker Realtors of Griffin Company. My partners in the real estate game, buying and selling a home. People get into the real estate market for different reasons. Sometimes you're moving up. Sometimes you're sizing down. Sometimes you've been transferred. Sometimes your circumstances just change. Whatever your situation is, Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, I think, should be your partner, because they were my partners. And I can tell you that they listened to me and they knew what I needed as a buyer, a first-time buyer. When it came time to sell, they listened again and they understood what I needed. And that is one of the things that really made the process go well. There was an open line of communication throughout. I think that'll be your experience too. Now, they're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson. They've got a wide selection of homes, and you can check out each and every one of them at WeicherGriffin.com.
Yeah, I guess perhaps if Gage Wood started in place of, say, Tigert, you'd have another long reliever. But you put Wood in there, and McIntyre isn't pitching well, who's your long relief? I mean, you got to think about, how one move affects the others, because those guys have been who you've leaned on, those two, McIntyre and Wood, for your long reliefs in the 6th or 7th, and sometimes earlier than that. So, one move is going to affect another in how you set up your pitching for the weekend.
Don't discount the value of 2 days off for a team that's gone through a brutal stretch, a lot of games in a short amount of time, many of which they've had to travel for. Things are not as bad. I mean, they're 40-9. If this was a major league team, we'd be talking about them like they were a juggernaut. I hope for everybody, a couple of days away has given them the perspective that this is a darn good baseball team. And, maybe right now is not the time to just start, tinkering with everything. You got to do some things in the outfield. There's no doubt about that. But pitching's been the strength of this team this year, and I don't think there's any reason to think that's going to change.
He's talking yesterday with Clay when he was on the show about the cicada hatch in northwest or north central Arkansas. And if you're thinking about a trip to the White River, now's a good time to get to Gaston's White River Resort. Obviously, this is something, if you followed on the news, it's cyclical and only comes around every 17 years or so. But it makes fishing right now, particularly on the White River, and a river that a lot of people enjoy fly fishing, a little more tempting right now because the fishing's a little bit better because the fish have a lot of food in the supply on the water. So now's a good time to get to Gaston's, particularly for you fly fishermen. And if fly fishing is something you've always wanted to learn about, Gaston's has expert guides to teach you on and off the water. They'll start on their airstrip out there with casting lessons. They'll go to the classroom and talk about flies and tying them and making sure how you choose the right one for the right situation. And then, of course, the great accommodations at Gaston's, 80 private cabins and lodges, all with a great view of the river, over 2 miles of riverfront. They've been there for 60 years plus for a reason at Gaston's White River Resort. Call today for your reservation. Set up your trip, 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former coach Houston Nutt, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones
All he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got coffee.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available.
For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So according to John Calipari on his podcast earlier this week, sounds like Tyler Ulis, one of his former point guards, is going to be on his staff. Now, I don't know what his capacity yet. Didn't elaborate too much, but here's what Cal had to say yesterday on his podcast.
What I did was say, get down here, finish your degree. You're going to be on my staff, and he's coming with me to Arkansas.
Ways to Win pod with Craig Robinson, who's also a coach. Guys, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know Cal had a podcast until these reports came out yesterday, but now I've got something else I can listen to when it comes to Arkansas basketball.
I think it's President Obama's brother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken, Craig Robinson.
Another thing I just learned.
State?
Yeah, he was at Oregon State.
The Oregon State, yeah.
Yeah. That's a national podcast that he does. The key in all that statement, Ty, and I know you guys probably have stuff to move on to, but he said, get down here and finish your degree. That's you wonder what capacity the guy's going to be in. Well, if he's coming down here and working on his degree, he's not going to be a full-time assistant coach. So, you've got to, again, kind of put 2 and 2 together there. What he's saying is, get down there, finish your degree, you're going to be on my staff. That's not a full-time assistant coach. That's someone that's going to be in a support role.
Well, that's you've got Chin Coleman, got Kenny Payne, I'm forgetting the one other staffer.
Bruiser Flint's coming.
Bruiser Flint's another guy.
But he's a name, Ulis is a name that the guys they're recruiting grew up watching.
Oh, no
Probably
question.
grew up admiring. So having him as part of your support staff, part of your, hey, this is a guy that's going to be around and working with you, and that's something that will turn heads of the players and their parents to a degree, but particularly the players you're after.
He's less than a decade old. He's playing college ball.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The kids you're recruiting grew up watching him play. He fits perfectly into the timeline of the players you're going after, at least in the immediate.
Yeah.
Well, and he also can talk to anyone about what the John Calipari experience is like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been through it. Highly recruited, coveted, and went to Kentucky. During that period, it was kind of rare to have a good player as a 2-year guy, but he was one, and a very good player.
He came into that 2014-15 team that had the Harrison twins, Collie Stein, Karl Anthony Towns. That was a team that lost one game all season. The Final Four to Wisconsin.
Good.
And he was,
They were good.
They had, that was, that
I
team.
remember that year we played in Rupp, and it was about 30 minutes before the game. It was a Saturday night. Bruno Mars hit, where he talks about Saturday night, we're in the spotlight, whatever that song is.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that blaring. I looked over at Z, and I said, boys, we're fixing to get our butt kicked. And, man, we did.
I joked with Manny Watkins about this. Arkansas was a 17 or 18-point underdog in that game, and I bet him. I got Arkansas plus 18 or whatever it was. If Manny hit a 3 at the end of that game, Arkansas would have lost by 17, and I would have won, I think, $100. He missed it, and they lost by 19 and ended up losing the bet. But yeah, that team was talented.
That was a great team. Great team.
Lost him in the championship too, the SEC championship. Michael Qualls had a really good game, but yeah, that was and you had Bobby Portis too. They had multiple pro prospects on that team. But you get Tyler Ulis. That's the latest basketball news. Chuck, we didn't talk to you about Monte Harrison just yet. The 28-year-old commit. I mean, there's Brandon Whedon. There's apparently the South Carolina State running back that was 55 years old. There's another guy here and there, Chris Winkie, Heisman Trophy winner. But you don't see many 28-year-olds playing college ball.
No, you don't. That's not something that you hear about. The guy, when he came out of high school 10 years ago, was highly sought after. I mean, he signed with Nebraska to play football and baseball. And, the lure of almost $2 million in bonus money got him to baseball. It happened a lot in that period. And he was one of those guys that did that. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. I have no idea. I know there are probably not many 28-year-olds that are better conditioned for it, though, than he is. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him. He's 6'3", 225. I mean, Limbo Parks, who played here and coaches up in Lee Summit, been on that staff, knows him, says he's like Bo Jackson in terms of his build and what he can do. So I guess we'll find out.
I was one of Quinn's offensive linemen. Is that timeline right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Limbo Parks is a good guy. He's made a difference in a lot of kids' lives, I promise you.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, Brooks and Dunn. You want to go boot scoot boogieing? You want to find that neon moon, Chuck?
You can have my spot.
All right, I got 2 pair of tickets to see them. I figured you'd want to do some line dancing. I got 2.
You can have my place.
McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. If you want to go Friday night at the Amp, we're going to give away 2 pair of tickets for tomorrow night. Call Big C now. We'll get you fixed up. 877-377-6963.
Selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors. and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Ty, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush. The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the upper 70s to lower 80s. We should remain clear to partly cloudy tonight and overnight low right around 55. As we head into Friday, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures Friday, mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
So much about continuity and the culture. These guys already know what he's like, and when he frowns, if he's mad or if he's happy or if he's going to get over it quick. They can coach the other guys. I mean, that's the part about this that is unique, that there is going to be some continuity despite there being an empty roster.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
She got a big weekend, a week ahead for Arkansas basketball. Sounds like Cal's hiring Tyler Ulis, former Kentucky Wildcat point guard, some capacity. He's been the last 2 years in Lexington as a student assistant, probably going to finish his degree and kind of work maybe in that same role that he has been. Cal said it on his podcast yesterday. You also got DJ Wagner in town this weekend, a former top 10 recruit, played a year in Lexington, year under his belt in the SEC. Good chance he commits after this weekend. Jamie Shaw, who we had on the first hour, spoke to that, and we're going to get back to that as we continue on this hour. Plus, Darius Acuff, who's an outstanding top 5 player in this upcoming class, is also coming in this week. So we'll talk about all that coming up in just a bit.
Busy week next week. The One Razorback Road Show will be traveling around the state. One place it will stop, and one of its final stops, in fact, it may be its final stop, is at Uncorked in Fort Smith. We tell you about Uncorked every Thursday. If you haven't made your plans to be with the Razorbacks at Uncorked, you need to go to their Facebook page. Just type in Uncorked. That's and it's spelled a little bit different. UNCORK''D. Find it there, and then there's a link, if you'll look down on there, to RSVP. You need to RSVP for this event. Doors open at 5:30. Chuck's going to be there, probably signing autographs, kissing babies.
They got bigger fish there than me.
Well, just it says Hunter Yurachek along with senior staff members. I assume that was you.
No,
at your age, staff. I figured you're. Oh, that's not an age deal. Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Head coaches are going to be there. Now, I don't know if Coach Cal's going to be at one of these events, but it would make sense to me. The one closest to Fayetteville would be, if he was, and I'm not saying he was going to be at one, it might be this one. So be there. Big Red will be there. Mascot's going to be there. Tuss 6 will be on hand. It's all next Thursday at Uncorked, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. It's going to be a great event. It's free, and it's open to all ages. So you can bring the kids. You can bring the entire family next Thursday at Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Got to RSVP next Thursday, 6 o'clock, the Razorback Road Show, the One Razorback Road Show at Uncorked in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
We've had a few listeners patiently waiting on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, starting with Gentle Ben, who's got some thoughts this morning. Gentle Ben, welcome into the program, man.
Yes, sir. Boy, there's so many things I can talk about because I was wanting to talk about the hogs batting, and that kind of thing. Or y'all brought up so many interesting things I could talk about every one of them, and I know I don't have time to. But anyway, I've already talked too much already. But I guess I'll just stick with that. I'm calling in dumb as a brick. because I don't really know what the answer to be is to make our hitters hit the ball better, where we don't have 14 people left on base at the end of the game. And I'm spoiled about them winning so much, and I'm wanting the national championship. But then with the national championship and lost, I'd be disappointed, but I'd still be proud of them, all that good fan sounding and stuff. But do y'all see? Y'all may have already talked about this a lot and given this answer, but I hadn't heard it. But do y'all have an answer as to what the coaches could do, or whoever could, any one of y'all think could help them out or whatever to get the hitting to do better? Because I hear the guys on the radio doing the play-by-play saying, boy, our guys sure had trouble with this pitch. Well, I'm thinking, well, can you practice on that pitch if you knew that guy was going to pitch that day or something? Just whatever. I know I may sound it, out in the left field there, whatever there, but just can you give me any ideas of what, the coaches or whoever can do?
That's where we want to hit it. We want to hit it out in the left field, Ben. That's what we want to do. Hey, thanks for the call, Chuck. Ben's on to a good point. If it was just that simple, you just go practice that pitch that day. If it was only that simple.
Well, if you were to talk to every manager in Major League Baseball last night that lost a game and go through all the minor leagues, every one of them out there, go to all the college coaches that lost games last night, I guarantee you 8 out of 10 will lament that they could not get the timely hit. That's basically the story of the game in many respects. Who gets the timely hit? Look, Arkansas has played 49 ball games. They've won 40 of them. Somehow, some way, with all this bad hitting and all these struggling starting pitchers, somehow or another, they've cobbled 40 wins out of 49 tries. My point is this. All the good teams go through periods where they do not hit well. Some good teams go through extended periods, sometimes all season long, where they're not great offensive teams. That's why you try to make up for it in other areas. Part of the deal, guys, and this is so overlooked, is how good the pitching is. And I've said this before. I think it was, Dan Wright was the first Arkansas pitcher that I can remember that threw into the 90s consistently. And we talked about him like he was Nolan Ryan. And now everybody's got guys who can do that. The pitching, it's a power game. The college game more every year reflects the major league game, for better or worse. And it's a power game now, again, for better or worse. But I think Arkansas is doing pretty well, all things considered.
Tyler Greenwood just said he blames me. It's my fault. He texted that in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Now, if you want to blame someone, I will take the blame in this situation. All right, let's talk to Brent on the McLarty Daniel hotline. What's up, Brent?
What's up, Ty, Tommy, and Chuck?
Brent.
I want you, Chuck, I want you and Tommy to know I had lunch with the gold standard yesterday, the one and only Ty Richardson. An hour and a half of stimulating conversation.
Oh, my God.
So,
what did y'all talk about? What was so stimulating for 90 minutes?
Sports. The only thing that matters.
Yeah. First time in a while I stimulated anyone for 90 minutes, so that's interesting.
Hey, let me ask you this, Brent. Did Ty pay, or was this on trade and he just signed a ticket?
No, Ty paid, man. I pulled out
money
the
chain
cans? He said, put it back.
Plastic.
I said, yes,
Plastic,
sir.
Chuck.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Chuck, I got one request for Ty, though, the next time we go to Art's Barbecue. But don't eat healthy, Ty. Ty had the grilled. He had the grilled chicken. He said, Brent, what are you going to have? I said, well, I'm going to let you eat healthy. I'm going to have the bacon cheeseburger.
There you go.
And not worry about it.
My man.
I went ahead and said, let me clog up some more arteries. That's okay.
Yeah. They make a pill for that.
I'm going to be honest. 29 years, that's the first time I've ever ordered a salad at a restaurant that wasn't a side salad.
You were just trying to show off.
Yeah, you were
just trying to show off. I hate going to lunch with people like you, Ty.
Yeah.
I know good and well at the end of the day, you're eating a cheeseburger. About 9 o'clock, you're going to get some ice cream, maybe some Oreos, something like that. But at lunch, I got to show off and make everybody think that I'm healthy. I got to order a grilled chicken salad. And then about 3 o'clock, you go get an ice cream cone.
It's all right through me, Chuck.
Yeah. It's all about public persona.
God.
He saw right through me there. He brought up, General Ben brought up baseball. I did see this, and I know that these are not entirely accurate, but I want y'all's and our audience opinion on this. D1 Baseball put out a regional projection. Texas in the Fayetteville Regional. Now, I'm going to have a take that I don't think a lot of people agree with, and I don't know if it's going to play out where the Longhorns come to Fayetteville. Texas is tied for the second best team in the Big 12 right now. It's a good ball club. I think Scott Tabor will tell you that was always a good team, whether people want to admit it or not. They've got a good baseball program. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I saw what happened last year at Fayetteville Ridge. I don't want to go through that situation again. So if I have an opportunity, and maybe you think I'm ducking, maybe you think this is the wrong way to look at it, I don't want the second best team in the Big 12 coming to Fayetteville, Arkansas, if there's a chance of, and I know it's your hated rival. And I know you want to beat these guys every chance you get. And I know it would sell tickets out the wazoo. But
like that's a problem.
I don't want to see Texas here in regional because I don't want to exit early 2 years in a row.
I'm like you. I want the easiest path. Give me the easiest path.
It's going to be dependent upon where Arkansas is seated nationally. If they're the 1, 2, or 3 national seed, I doubt that they would have a second seed in their regional that would be as strong as Texas. I think, frankly, if they bring Texas here and Arkansas is like a 1, 2, or 3 national seed, it would just be for television. And I think it would be unfair, frankly, to a team that's seeded second or third. Yeah. I think you play a team like Texas in the super regional. They want to set this up where they go to somebody's regional. They go to one of those Texas schools regionals, and they win it.
Send them to
and they win it. And they win it, which could happen. And Arkansas wins their first round regional, then you play. Mm-hmm. Then you play in a super regional. But I don't think Texas really has, at this point, now things may change, but I'm not sure Texas really right now is, that's an interesting matchup on paper, but I just can't see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do that just to manipulate for TV, which is so wrong because this is for a championship. It shouldn't be manipulated, but they do, and I understand it happens. It would be Arkansas, Tennessee would probably be the one that it's the other orange. Because there's more storylines there, and it's 2 power SEC programs.
But let's not sit here and act like Arkansas and Texas playing in the same regional in Fayetteville is going to move the needle in a major media market. It's just not. I mean, it's just not. Not even in Dallas. So I don't
think there's enough ratings prior to the College World Series that ESPN even worries about it.
Well, you're right. That's exactly right. And here's the thing, too. And you kind of touched on it a minute ago, Tommy, when you said, that's a problem. It's not like they need to have Texas here to sell this place out.
No.
If you want to showcase college baseball, if you want to showcase the game, put them in a regional down there with one of those Texas teams. I don't even know what the rankings are. Maybe put them in A&M's regional. Mm-hmm. That's something that packs the house. That's something that grows the game. And, Arkansas is already going to be full regardless of who's here.
Yeah, a lot fuller than probably in Bluebell Park and Texas A&M.
They'll sell out too. I mean,
look, if Texas is in A&M's regional, that'll be as difficult as a football team.
Yeah, I'm just talking about from the overall attendance standpoint. I can't remember off the top of my head what it holds, but it's not outside of Duty Noble.
I think they get 7 or 8 in there if they really jammed them in.
I'm just looking at the RPI. A&M probably will be the only regional location in the state of Texas because there is nobody else.
Where's DBU at? Dallas Baptist.
They're 20th in the latest.
They could get a regional.
RPI.
16 teams are going to get regionals. Facilities have something to do with that at times. Not always. Most places have suitable facilities now. But from time to time, that'll come into play also.
Texas RPI is 51. Texas Tech is 49. So, I mean, there's not a lot of schools when you look at the top 25. Dallas Baptist and A&M look to be the only ones in the current
possible.
RPI.
I mean, it's certainly possible that Texas could come in here, but I'm not inclined to think so.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Razorback Stadium being packed out, Tommy, regardless, and I say Razorback Stadium, Bob Walker Stadium being packed out regardless of when the regional teams are announced. It sounds like, and Clay wrote a really good column on hitthatline.com if you haven't read it yet. Hog Noxious in his 40th year, Mr. Bobby Schmidl. This will be the final year that he's watching Hog games in his typical spot. I didn't know his background as an usher, and I've gotten a chance to go to their tailgate before. Chuck, I'm assuming all your years at the ballpark, you probably stopped by and had a brisket or had a bite of brisket or two at that tailgate. I think I had a burger last time I was there, but 40 years he's been coming to games and sitting in that spot. It's a long time to be a fan in that situation.
Well, the great thing about Bobby is those of us who've been in Fayetteville for a number of years have gotten to know Bobby Schmidl as something other than Hog Noxious. Just as good a person as you'll ever meet. I mean, what you'd want for your next door neighbor, who you'd want to be your uncle. I mean, just a great guy. And give you the shirt off his back. He's, we all get old. And I'm not saying Bobby's old, but he's older than he was.
He's not young.
Well,
kind of like the rest of us. And there's probably a lot of components to this. I don't know. But I know he's a great guy, and I hope whatever he does, he's happy doing it because he's made a lot of other people happy.
Yeah, I mean, when you start talking about 40 home games in a year, that's a commitment to be at every one of them.
I don't think he's done that for quite some time.
No.
I think his job from time to time is taking him away from. Now, it always seems like he's there at the meaningful moments.
Well, I've never been to a game he wasn't there because some of our tickets are not far behind where he sits.
Yeah, but you only go to the big games.
Well, that part is true, and I know this. Everybody thinks these super fans, if you will, they don't get free tickets. Bobby's paying for those, and now with the new structure on the donation and all of that, I mean, it's a financial commitment.
Strenuous.
Well, I mean, you've got to donate to a certain level to even be eligible to sit in those seats. So I mean,
there are people who bought those tickets that I'm not going to get into it too deeply, but I know that those tickets have been bought by a group for a while, and I don't know exactly who puts in what, but they've been right there in that spot for a number of years, and I know Bobby sat there, and he's just a good guy. He's just a good guy, and I think those who've gone to games for 40 years, and there are some of them there. Every time that the Razorbacks play baseball, there's a handful of people that have been coming for 40 years. Now, I know who they are, and Bobby's one of them. He's their champion.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure is. He's called the show on occasion, but he has certainly been a fixture at Baum Walker Stadium, Chuck.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I hope that maybe somebody will pick that up somewhere down the line. I know this. Nobody's ever loved it more. Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, Lee and John are going to talk about all the news headlines and how they affect the economy. Reactionary is the word that comes up. There are always issues with the Securities and Exchange Commission. How fast food prices have risen even beyond inflation. You've probably noticed that. You can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com to find out more. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So we had Jamie Shaw of On 3 Sports recruiting on earlier in the program, and a lot of you are wondering about DJ Wagner coming to town this weekend. Played for Cal last year in Lexington. The prospect of him coming sounds like it's pretty good.
Wagner, goes back with Calipari, goes back with Kenny Payne, family, and all that type of stuff. It's I don't want to say it's foregone, but once he entered the transfer portal, there was a lot of thought that Arkansas would ultimately be the landing spot. He was an all-SEC freshman last year under Calipari, averaged almost 10 points, 3.5 assists, close to. There's just a lot of direction, a lot of signs pointing toward Arkansas with Wagner.
Chuck, I believe he, along with another recruiting guy we've had on, Travis Branham of 24/7 Sports, also crystal balled him to DJ Wagner, which for those that follow recruiting or don't follow recruiting, that means they got a pretty strong indication that he's going to wind up in Fayetteville. That would be the 8th scholarship player, the 3rd one on this roster potentially that would play for Cal last year. Clay brought it up yesterday, the word continuity, a word that we didn't necessarily think we'd use with this basketball team this year. But between the coaches that are coming over and the players, you actually might, not all, but you actually might have some continuity on this team this next year.
Well, I think that's how it works now. You take everyone with you. That's why we talk about on the flip side, when a coach gets fired, 40 other people on a football staff or 10, 15 other people on a basketball staff get fired too. These guys run in packs. There's always going to be continuity. There's continuity at USC right now because Muss took his guys with him. A coach has 2 teams. He has his on-the-floor team and he has his off-the-floor team. His off-the-floor team's his staff, the coming-to-work part, the things we don't see. We see the on-the-floor team on television. There's an off-the-floor team that travels with the coach as well, and they're the ones that make everything the same from the moment you get up to go to work that morning until the time you lay your head down at the end of the night. John Calipari's recruiting the very same way at Arkansas that he did at Kentucky. Now, the surroundings are different. The building's different. The color's different.
Fans are better.
But everything that he does is the same as it was before. There's always continuity. There has to be. And that's how the name coaches move now. Everybody goes with them.
Yeah, I mean, and because it's what you know, it's what you like, it's what you trust. It's what you put together.
What makes you comfortable coming to work every day.
Because you can trust that when you're not there, things are going to get done the way you want them to be. Hey, we're brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate job openings in Marion, in Baxter County, Boone County. They also have openings right now in Northwest Arkansas. If you'll go to jobs.crh.com, there's a map where you can click on the area you're interested in working, or maybe you live and you're not moving, but you just want a different job or a better paying job. APAC Arcola has a variety of positions in a variety of places. You're a licensed CDL driver, you can go to work today. If you're a heavy equipment operator, if you're a diesel mechanic, if you're an electrician, if you've got experience paving with concrete or asphalt labor experience, they've got jobs right now. Go to jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, when we return, still got a lot to get to here on the Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas. Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, really? I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
5?
Yeah. What, where, when, why, and who?
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? WWWW, 4 W's, makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles the people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's, RazorbackPizza.com.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
There's a proper way to bet the Kentucky Derby. This is how you play. You make your pick at the start of the week. By the end of the week, you talk yourself into betting on another horse too. Then Derby Day rolls around, and I probably need to put a little money on this horse. You got your money on so many that hopefully one, like Mystic Dan, will come in and pay off all your other stupid bets. Yeah. Not that I know anything about that.
Not anything at all. You would know about that.
Well, speaking of bets, there is a bettor out there by the name of Wayne Shelton that has a chance to win $1.7 million if the Oklahoma City Thunder end up winning the NBA Finals. They're just up game 1 right now on the Dallas Mavericks. Game 2 is tonight, 8:30 on ESPN. Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe in action, former Arkansas Razorback, Northside Grizzlies. We'll talk about that game and some of the other NBA storylines, including Chuck's Knicks getting a much-needed Game 2 win last night.
Yeah, you can go to Oaklawn Sports, find the lines for tonight, over-unders, player props, and more. Not just for basketball, but, of course, was it USL and football, hockey? They're in their playoffs. I mean, if you really need a comeback, table tennis, darts, cricket, rugby, they've got a variety of stuff that you may have not even thought about there on Arkansas's best sports betting app. That's Oaklawn Sports. All right, sign up right now. They've got a special promotion. If you qualify for the second, and you'll qualify automatically for the second chance promotion on your very first bet up to $250. Create your account, make a deposit, and make a bet of at least $10, and you get a second chance if you lose your first bet of up to $250. So they've made it easy to fund your account and withdraw funds as well. Debit and credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, and, of course, on-site cash always works when you are at Oaklawn. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
So Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Indiana Pacers, did not like a certain no call, an inadvertent whistle that happened in the game last night, and ended up getting ejected.
Yeah, ejected. He just got thrown out. Rick Carlisle. This is what got Rick Carlisle tossed out, clapping in the face of Mark Davis.
130 to 121 the final in the game last night. It is amazing, the stars that sit on the front row in Madison Square Garden. I would get distracted if I was playing a basketball game.
No. There's no excuse for that at this level. I mean, inadvertent whistles happen. They're really penalizing in football, but these guys are the best in the world, you know. And I understand they're not perfect. We expect perfection, but you're in the conference semifinals. These are the most experienced, the highest rated NBA officials. A mistake like an inadvertent whistle shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Chuck, I mean, is the series over? I mean, I think it's over.
No, I don't think it's over by any stretch. I would expect Indiana, would not surprise me at all if Indiana won both games in Indianapolis. Anunoby's hurt. Brunson's ailing. The Knicks just gutted it out last night. I mean, they just gutted it out. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. So, no, I don't think it's over by any stretch. I think it's a 7-game series.
I think the injury to Anunoby, who is going to guard, if they get past the Pacers, have to guard either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown's probably as good as Brunson's been. I mean, they need someone to defend the other two guys, and Harden, DiVincenzo, while they have the quickness, I don't know if they have the height. So,
Josh Hart's a great player.
He's a dog,
Josh
man.
Hart's a great player.
He gets
Josh Hart is a great player.
So he gets 6 offensive rebounds a game, it seems like, and
he is. I've never seen a player rebound his position the way he does. Rodman obviously set the standard, but I'm going to tell you, there's great value in basketball to a guy who can get the rebound, turn and bring it up the floor. And he's as good at that as anybody.
Yeah, he is. It's cool to see. I mean, you think about, we talk about the Arkansas connection, right? And DiVincenzo, Brunson, and Josh Hart didn't go to high school together, but they all played at Villanova for Jay Wright on the same team. And now, you're doing that in the NBA. It's one thing to do it in high school to college, like we talked about with Jalen and Isaiah, and then for them to be on the same team. But to have 3 guys who are all part of a national championship team, they're all on the same roster. I mean, if you watch the chemistry, and they always seem to know where each other's go, and there's a lot to be said about guys that have played a lot of ball together that might not be the most talented, because I wouldn't say that Hart or DiVincenzo are just off-the-wall talented, but they have such a synergy when they play with one another out there.
Well, they've played with one another for a long time, and they're all great players. That's the that's the start of it. Tom Thibodeau's a really good coach. I know he and Muss are tight, and really tight. Go back many, many years, and I can see some similarities in defensively their coaching styles. And I think Thibodeau's done a really, really good job with the Knicks.
JT in Hot Springs with the text, Tommy, would you throw a coach out for clapping at you in your face?
Depends on the situation. If I'd had an inadvertent whistle that was costly to that coach, that's one you got to eat.
You got to let go.
I would. But now, sometimes coaches want to throw themselves out.
Carl, I look like.
Well, now I was watching the game. I'm not sure where the inadvertent whistle came in. He'd been mad for 5 minutes, And right at the end, he clapped in that guy's face, got thrown out with about 20 or 30 seconds to go. It really was inconsequential by the time he got thrown out.
Yeah. I mean, with 30 seconds to go, you're not getting thrown out. If I got to stay, you got to stay. That'd be
I got to stay. You got to stay.
That's my policy. You're not going to blame this.
Well, the way he got in his face, though, he had to.
Well, these guys have bosses too. These guys have bosses too, and they have to answer for their actions and inactions. And when a coach does that in the NBA, you gone.
He was frustrated because his team had lost, and they'd been on the short end of a few calls. There's no question.
Hey, do you own a business that needs more security, or maybe you want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. They've been around for more than 40 years. They custom install any type of fencing, gates, controlled access systems for your business, and more. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18-month, same as cash financing as well. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Arkansas softball back in action today against Missouri. Some other basketball news that we'll share with you, plus a crazy ending in a 14-inning softball game. All that's coming up in your SEC update.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I made a pizza with pork rinds and sour cream.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is The Morning Rush.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
husbands, sons, daughters. Honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So the Arkansas softball team will play in Missouri at 1 o'clock today on the SEC Network. If they win, they'll be in the semifinals against either Tennessee or, I guess, LSU is what it would be, on ESPN 2. I think it's LSU or Alabama potentially. But again, Courtney Deifel's squad was listening to her and Hannah Gamble actually on the network earlier this week, talking about just kind of where they are as a program. Again, them on the road is so impressive what they've done. I know that for the SEC tournament, they're not technically on the road, but this team plays with mentality, and hopefully they continue on and have success in this SEC tournament. All right, other SEC news to share with you this morning. We were talking about betting earlier. There are already odds right now on a national betting where you can bet on Cal specials, Calipari specials, like for the Razorbacks to win in Rupp Arena or for the Wildcats to win in Bud Walton Arena. And Tommy, the question I have is, these odds are up. Does that mean there's a better chance? I mean, Vegas always seems to get information before the public does. Does that mean that there's an indication that they're going to play a return in Bud Walton Arena like they have back-to-back years?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's
I mean,
right.
you're right about Vegas seems to know before we know, particularly about injuries, but I don't know that they know about scheduling intricacies.
Even with prop bets and stuff like that. I hope so. Not prop bets, but futures. I hope that's right. I hope that Arkansas basketball gets a chance to play in Bud Walton Arena with Cal against Kentucky. Because you know that game in Lexington, I was talking to some guys about it yesterday. I have not been to Lexington since I think Archie was there in 2013 maybe, when I saw Baylor beat that team with Nerlens Noel. I want to go back because that will be one of the best home game away atmospheres to experience when Cal walks back in to Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky for the first time this season. Whatever the SEC and ESPN has to do, or CBS, wherever they put the game, to get that home and home, I think you got to do it. It's a no-brainer. I mean, these television networks want big market games, and this is not Homer Radio and lifelong Arkansas fans saying this. That is the most, at least preseason, that's the most marketable game in the SEC. maybe top 5 in college basketball this next year.
You said CBS out of habit. There won't be CBS games, right?
It's me being hammered. I hate that. I hate that we won't get to hear Brad Nessler.
I mean, not in the regular season, I should say. You know, there will obviously be postseason chances to be there, but yeah, I mean, here's the question: in the next year or two, now, I know Hawaii's back on the schedule with the Maui Classic. You got this San Diego deal. I don't know if all of this stuff holds up because I think Arkansas would have a chance to, to be in some of these other premier events because they want Cal there.
Yeah, Vegas. I mean, I would love to see them in Vegas along with Alabama and A&M or
I don't know how all those contracts work and those commitments work. I know there was the deal in San Diego.
That's a must thing.
But
like
yeah,
you said,
I mean,
can they get what you're asking is
can you get out of
the contract?
Yeah. Right, and is there a better chance to showcase the program?
Now Purdue,
but let's be honest. Arkansas itself may need some publicity help.
Yeah,
but Cal does not.
I think that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament, I believe. And I got used to Arkansas playing the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. That was one of my favorite regular season games, was watching this team in a tournament the night before Thanksgiving. I just had fun doing that. And now I think it's, again, if I remember that correctly, the schedule sets up as a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And San Diego. I'm like you. I think you're asking if you could get out of it. Don't know.
That's not a premier event.
No, it's not. It's it was a must thing. I did see. I know Phil's going to talk about this on halftime today. Former LSU pitcher Paul Skeens getting his major debut this Saturday against Christian Year's Chicago Cubs in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 17-21. Christian, what do you think about what do you think about Paul Skeens against your Cubs this weekend, his first start?
Well, obviously, I'm not going to want him to have a great start against the Cubs, but I think he's going to end up having a great career. He's just that type of player. But I can also see him coming in his first start and shutting down teams,
He's been mowing down dudes in the minors. I mean, it's been rough.
I mean, I don't want him to, is all I'm saying, but he very well could have a great first start.
I don't know. He's one of the, like Strasburg. There's another pitcher, too, that's kind of been within the same calendar year, but it's not often that you see a player move so quickly from the minors to the actual professional leagues. But Paul Skeens, he's a different duck. Yesterday, we mentioned Arkansas women's softball back in action today. LSU beat Bama in 14 innings, which set a conference record in softball. Longest game in SEC tournament softball history. My question to all of you, is there ever a point during an Arkansas sporting event that you turn it off? You say, I'm done. Like, you remember a couple years ago when you beat Florida in the SEC tournament? That game went to what? 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning? Might have even been 3. It was the Bobby Warnes team. I know some people that just turned it off. They're like, this is a great game, but I can't stay up. I know my job and our job's a little different waking up this early. But being as long as it was, I saw on this day back in 84, there was a 25-inning game. Do you get bored? Like it being that long, like games lasting a long, especially in like baseball and softball?
I would never watch a 25-inning baseball game
anymore. Well, I remember as a kid, it was the Braves and the Mets maybe. And I know I had to look it up. Early mid-'80s, and it was like July 4th or right around one of the holidays. I remember as a kid watching that with my dad, and it was like an afternoon game that went in late in the evening, late afternoon game, and it went like 20-some-odd innings. I'd have to look that up, but I think it's Braves-Mets.
It's hard to get through a 9-inning game just watching on TV.
Our attention spans are so limited now.
So many things you want to do.
Listen, so that game I referred to, the Brewers and the White Sox, back in 84, that was an 8-hour and 6-minute game over the course of 2 days. They suspended it after 17 innings, heading into the 17th inning, or the 18th inning, excuse me.
Here was July 4th, 1985. I thought my memory was right. Braves and Mets. You click on this, but I remember watching that, and that was the first time I'd ever, really grasped how long one of these could go. But
I guess unless you're there, I mean, you kind of...
The fireworks show at Fulton County Stadium ended at 4 a.m. Let's see. It's Tuesday. Anyway, let me look through this. But there was, Yeah, I remember that as a kid watching how that thing went.
Matt texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He said he watched the Mets Astros at the old Astrodome for 21 innings, and they ran out of hot dogs. He was 11 years old. Now, when you run out of food and drink, that's what fans in the stadium.
And here's the thing on these games, in today's times, they shut the beer sales down in the 7th inning, right? And they don't open them back up because you go to extra innings. So, but
fans getting restless there.
Yeah, that game I'm talking about in 1985 lasted 8 hours, 15 minutes.
That's gross.
Setting the major league record. 3:55 a.m. final out in the Braves and the Mets in 85. It was eclipsed in 93 by the Phillies and the Padres. They had a delayed doubleheader that ended at 4:40 a.m. So, but yeah, I remember watching that with my dad back when I guess I'd have been 10.
Yeah, I would have not stuck through it. It's like you said, our attention span doesn't typically last that long. All right, that is your SEC update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
Burton Pools and Spas celebrating 46 years in business. Incredible deals on in-ground pools, and there's still time to swim this summer in your own backyard, but you need to start now. If you've been thinking about this, you've been dreaming about the backyard of your dreams with your own in-ground pool, now's the time with savings up to $12,000. Swim in a matter of a few weeks with an above-ground pool. Savings right now of $1,200 on Doughboy above-ground pools and $5,000 off Doughboy semi-in-ground pools right now. Plus hot tubs, great way to start or end the day. Savings up to, with prices starting, not savings, prices starting at $39.99 right now. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, always online at burtonpools.com. At Burton Pools and Spas, they do more than build pools and bring you great hot tubs. They build long-term relationships. Again, online at burtonpools.com.
So you got some big visitors in town this week. Darius Acuff, who's a class of 2025 kid, number 1 point guard, top 5 player in the country. He's coming to Fayetteville this week. Also, DJ Wagner, who can help you this upcoming season. Played at Kentucky last year and excited about that possibility to be the 8th scholarship player added to this roster. Well, according to Jamie Shaw, who we had on in the first hour, the recent addition of Tyler Ulis, which is not official, but it's all but official because Cal talked about it on his podcast this week, sounds like there's not just for DJ Wagner, but future players, it's going to be a good thing.
Well, Ulis, he's young, he's an energetic coach, and he's not that far away from his playing career. Obviously a draft pick, some time with the Bulls. Kids know who Tyler Ulis is. He's able to get in there. He was an overachiever as a player. He's able to get out there on the floor, be with the kids, play with the players, and relate to them. You know, he's kind of able to bridge that gap between the coaching staff and the players, and be there and form relationships and relate to the things that they're going through throughout the process.
Now, Ronnie's a little bit older than him, but I would say that there's still a lot of players that maybe have taken in some Ronnie Brewer action. Ronnie played in 06. Ulis played in basically 2014 through 2016, so about 10 years older. But that kind of connection is a big thing on not just Cal staff, but any staff. And I bring up Ronnie because I still don't know if he's going to be a staff member here in Arkansas. I hope so. Now, I understand that Cal has to make the best decision what he thinks is for his basketball program. I hope Ronnie's a part of that decision, but it sounds like, according to Cal on his podcast yesterday, that Ulis is not going to necessarily be an assistant per se, but is going to be a part of this staff.
Yeah, I think, and being a coach, being on staff, as you discussed, two different things. I think there's going to be a lot of names when we look over this staff and the assistant coaches that are not just familiar, but names you're like, man, that's impressive. So I think Chuck put it best earlier. You know, when it comes to a head coach, you've got your team on the floor and off the floor. That's a great way to look at it. You got your players that change over time, but you got your staff members you trust and rely on to help you run a program, because it's a business. I mean, whether you like it, at the end of the day, there's organization, there's things that have to be done from a business standpoint. So he's getting the people he trusts and relies on, and growing up some young ones in the business too.
Yep, we'll see what happens in the coming days with not just Acuff, but also DJ Wagner and other possible players that could end up Arkansas Razorbacks.
All right, when we talk basketball, it's all brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley for all of your real estate needs. Go to LimberTeam.com.
So you got a big series in Baum Walker Stadium this weekend. Mississippi State Bulldogs in town. Scott Tabor joins us at 7:20 tomorrow, courtesy of our friends at Alumni Hall. Talk about that, and we'll get into a lot of other stuff. I got a great Vern Lundquist story to share with you tomorrow as well. So for Tommy, Chuck, Big C, I'm Ty. Back in these chairs tomorrow, 6 a.m.
It's a good day to be in Arkansas. You know why? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1.5 million. And the best part? The winning